Well, you see, the object of the motivation, let me put it that way, the motivation for choosing a successor is essentially on the basis of your understanding of the behavioral tendency of the person to see whether such a person will continue with the lofty projects you have started, for which you are unable to complete as a result of your tenure termination. But I would always like to use the words of Roosevelt, former American president, that says, you contemplate your successor the way you contemplate death. Is death going to meet me on the highway when I'm traveling? Will I be sleeping when death comes? Will I be walking in my study? Will I be eating when death will come? You don't know. It's loaded in mystery, kind of. That is how you contemplate your successor. Is he going to come after my policies? Is he going to come after me? Is he going to probe me? Is he going to cancel some of my policy formulation? Is he going to even come after some of my followers, my supporters, and all of that? That is the context upon which the issue of a successor is being recruited. Now, talking about the Rivers scenario, I'm quite familiar with some of the dynamics, because the process of throwing up Fubara, at least I know a little bit of it. I was always going to Rivers and I listened to discussions, conversations and all of that. I keep saying it. I'm running for governorship of Edo as an aspirant presently. And I told you about 2 weeks ago that I would love to have a godfather who will assist me to translate what I have in terms of ideas, principles, and policy framework, manifesto, to something that I will present and win votes, so that when I become, I can translate those ideas for the benefit of my people. If I'm unable to see, and at the end of the day, those ideas reside in me without having a platform to execute them, they become just mere ideas. So, the point I'm trying to make is that for whatever reason, I always want to be a good godson. I want to see a good godson. Don't pretend that you love your principal so much while the going was smooth, while you were trying to get this power. And when you get to power, you now start listening to side talks, gossip, or persons who never contributed to your emergence ab initio, first as a candidate, and even the votes, the election itself. And now they want to push you to say, no, you have to be your own man. You have to stand. You are the governor of the state. Where were those people when you were looking for the opportunity to preserve the state? I told you before, Yori, please get me a godfather. I'm looking for godfathers. Let the governor even choose all my commissioners for me. Because they will be part and parcel of the process that will make me, in terms of campaigns, in terms of reaching out, networking, and all of that. So nobody is a stranger as we speak. But you see, the commissioners are resigning in droves.
That is another problem.
So what does that portray of the governor? It shows him to be a man of bad behavior. He's learning bad behavior from an Obaseki in Edo, for which we have been analyzing in the last 7 years. And that's why it's so painful to me when I see these people spoiling the cook for us. As I speak now, Oshomole is double careful not to even put his support behind anybody, because he doesn't know how they will behave. No matter how much you know someone, you cannot read the mind construction in the face.
That's right. Now,
for God's sake, let us leave legacies of goodwill, legacies of good character, of good behavior, to deepen the conversation around governance, deepen conversation around democracy, so that those who are learning from realities such as this will be learning the good thing. Don't let people copy the bad behavior. I can be ungrateful to somebody. That's not good. Even the holy books talks about gratefulness as a virtue that must be cultivated. No matter how you see it, I will never be on the side of godsons who have become errant on the part of their godfathers.
You know, it's over and done with now. We've seen the true color, if one can put it like that, of Governor Fubara. He has power now, and all that you've been saying are those things that are in the background to how one actually ascends to power. These are unspoken agreements, understandings, and all of that. Now, does this not speak to a weakness on the part of former Governor Wike in choosing a successor, which is said to be a key attribute of effective leaders? You know, picking their successors. He didn't know the man clearly from what we are seeing, and so what's going on there? Because if
no, you see, Yori, you see, the point is, you don't have the art to read the mind construction in the face. I said that earlier. So people around power, the corridors of power, is loaded with all manners of pretenses, subterfuge, gerrymandering, manipulation, all kinds of behavioral tendencies that tend to confuse the leader, the Godfather in this sense. It will take the grace of God, and I say this, for a leader to have that ability to choose from wide array of political godsons that are hovering around him when the time to choose a successor comes to play. I remember mine very vividly in Edo in 2016. I stood my ground. I said, I will not support an Obaseki for governor. And I told the governor then, Adam Sochomole. And he asked me, what is the reason? I gave 1, 2, 3, 4 scenarios. But certain persons elsewhere are friends of Obaseki, Oshomole, prevail on him. And in that instance, they even assumed the position of being chief guarantors of the good behavior that is expected, that will be expected from an Obaseki. They say, I'm a chief guarantor. The comrade governor is a guarantor and the other person is a chief guarantor. And at the end of the day, I still stood my ground. I said, from what I can read from this man, he's not going to be a good guy. In terms of even following through your policies and programs, do you know today that beneath flooding and erosion is as a result of neglect of what Comrade Adams Oshomole started? For which he took 25 billion from the stock market, channel out what they call Benin City Stormwater Master Plan. He had done about 60% of that work. All we needed was 40% to complete the whole master plan so that Benin erosion and flooding will be a thing of the past. If you go to where they call 5 Junction, if you see the level of earthwork that was done there, if you go the Benin, what's it called, the airport road, and so many other places. We recover Queen Ede erosion, Gully erosion in Auchi, and so many other places. But this governor, his successor, whom he has taught, will follow through those policies and programs, abandon them.
Yeah.
And today, when it rains in Benin, or when the clouds are gathering, then fear comes into the mind of the people. Is that the kind of thing we want to see? So I have been proven right, more or less as a political prophet. And so in the case of Rivers, the Fubara came very unambitious, as someone who has been very loyal to Wike, being an accountant general, a civil servant who rose to the rank of an accountant general of the state. The expectation will be that, okay, he understands all the procedures, policy framework of Wike. And now there's a political structure that threw up Fubara. Wike did not do it alone. You need people in different local governments to be able to key into the different aspects of the electioneering process and the electoral process. All of these persons, you reassure them. Just like now that I'm going around in Edo State talking to people in local governments. I'm pleading that they should please support me so that I can become a candidate of the party. Then if I become the candidate, that is the first leg. The second leg, you now campaign for the re-election. The real election, you have to campaign again, make promises here and there, the ones you can fulfill. Then when you now get to position, how will you feel?
I hear you.
Yori,
I hear you. One moment, please, Kassim. I beg your pardon. Let me bring in Mazi Okorafo, who has been waiting for a bit. Good morning, Mazi Okorafo. Thank you for holding on.
Good morning, sir. Yori. Good morning, I guess. Well, thank God today is Friday. Now, sir, Yori, let us, like I used to tell people, I say, look, what is annoying me in Nigeria is that we chase symptoms instead of chasing the causes. Now, the people resigning now, the commissioners, fine and good. There are people at the gate, they're looking for that job. That is it. That's number one. Number two, the people that voted for the honorable members, because there are two types of members we have. We have honorable members and honorable members. So which one do we have? And we have commotion and confusion in Nigerian politics in terms of House of Assembly. What is going on in Rivers State is not a new thing. It happened in Edo State, which everybody is aware. But what I want the honorable members to know is this, like the speaker, they are making, they should know that the people voted for them, and the masses that voted for them trusted that was why they voted for them. Now, they are now showing us that they were being sponsored, that they didn't enter the House of Assembly based on their own integrity, or that they have Godfather. That is what they are showing. That's what they are displaying. Go to the causes. The causes is not showing that, because I see no reason why you enter the House of Assembly. If there is any problem, you just like, let me give an example. You saw a girl, you love the girl is good before the fine. You train the girl, after training the girl to university level, she finished her youth service, but she promised to marry you. You people agreed with their parents. At the graduation ceremony, the girl finished, she said no, that she no longer interested to marry. That is what is happening in Rivers State. So what do? Are you going to kill the girl? Or are you going to kidnap the girl? Are you going to assassinate the girl? You said let's let it go. That is what the Rivers State is. But the man amazed him. I think he knows that his own sister. He has no problem too. When he was before, I think that he said that 2019 or what. I think he's not the person that forced somebody in the House of Assembly with the fish chair or with the chair what. He knows that his own record is not straight. So I don't know why it should be spearheaded. This is to gather everybody and move on. Look, causing confusion in the House of Assembly is not healthy for our politics, because what are they doing? These are young boys and young girls. What are they displaying? They say Nigeria belongs to the youth. The youth, is that what they are doing? It's just like Nigerian students. When they got to Abuja last week, what did they go? They have 3 factions of president going on. These are the youth. You want to talk about, you say that this regime is old school. You that is a new school, what are you doing? Is that what they are displaying? And see, it is not healthy, because Rivers State should sit down, and because Rivers State is known as a state where they have a lot of political assassins. It's so common. Go and take statistics. That is what they have done in the past. But no, they should try what as possible, bring peace. No matter whatever, whether Wike sponsored or Wike was the governor or the principal sponsor, that was the mentor, peace reign. There's nothing wrong that says, sorry, I'm failing, please have mercy. Please. But we lack that word, sorry, S-O-R-R-Y, we lack it, that is it. But the thing is this, no matter whatever you do, tomorrow counts, future counts. You have some young boys and young girls there. They have to borrow what you planted.